Salute, salute, salute. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the road to Atlanta. And the road to Atlanta officially begins tonight. It is championship weekend. Your host, Armondo Black. I got my co host here with me, D Truth. Sniper, and you knew they'll be along pretty soon here. First things first, salute D Truth, salute, salute, salute. How's everything going today, bro?
What's going on, my brother? What's going on, my brother? You know what it is? It's a little chilly, a little hot. You know how it goes down here in the South. You never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're gonna get. Absolutely, you never know what you're gonna get. All right. Well, it's championship week. Tonight we have Boise State versus UNLV in Boise, Idaho. Well, this is the rematch. This is the first of two rematches this championship week. Boise State, UNLV, as we all know, they played earlier this year out in Vegas, and tonight the rematch will be in Boise, Idaho. What are your thoughts on that game?
All I can say is the winner, Boise State, has to win this game to stay where they at.
Hmm.
From where I see where the committee had put them, right?
Hmm.
They got to win this game.
Hmm.
Not saying they is, but Boise State has to win the game to stay to get a bye
Hmm.
for what the committee is looking at.
Hmm.
But then on top of that, UNLV beat Boise State. Here we go. Here comes the chaos.
Hmm.
So, hey, it's gonna be a good one. As I remember, Boise State beat UNLV the first game,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was a good game out in Vegas. Uh, the UNLV came that close, but tonight is a rematch. You got some experts saying that it's impossible to beat the same team. It's impossible to beat a good team twice in a season. But those same experts are picking Boise State to beat UNLV, and they're picking Texas to beat Georgia in the rematch. But
But I just, yeah, like you said, it is hard for them. It is hard for a team to beat a team that already played the regular season twice
mhm,
because you just about to see their whole playbook already.
mhm.
So what you gonna do different? But not saying some experts say, some experts say, oh, it's hard to beat a team twice, but go back on what they say. Okay, if you think it's so hard for Boise State to beat UNLV twice, why you choose Boise State?
Mhm.
That's what I got to say to the expert. So,
Mhm. All right. Okay. Well, hey, listen, that it's gonna be a good one. It's definitely gonna be a good one. And for the first time ever, we will have a mount representative from the Mountain West Conference in a playoff. This is one of these teams are going to make history. And the thing about it is, and I hear a lot of these analysts are saying, "Well, Boise State shouldn't be in it. Boise State shouldn't be in it." Look how many times in the past where Boise State has been deprived. They would go 12 and 0, 13 and 0, and were deprived of getting into the BCS or were left out of the playoffs. When now with the 12 team format, you know, the Mountain West Conference champion has a chance to win the prize. And in this day, in the 12 team playoff, all you need is a chance. Salute to you, Sikkim. All you need is a chance, and to get into the playoffs. So I think this is a good thing. We're going to go on into our Q&As. And these questions I pulled from uh, our Facebook inbox. So these are questions that a lot of our viewers from Facebook were actually wanting to know. So let me go ahead and set this up right here. Salute to you, 225 girls. Salute to you. Salute to you. Salute to you.
yeah, while you getting that set up, I'm going to say this. Tulane kind of messed the American Athletic Conference up when they lost that Saturday.
Hmm.
I'm going to put that right there because The night they played Army, guess what? That game could have been crucial. Who gets in, who stays out. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, Tulane. I had to put that out there.
Well,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
can't
yeah. For Alabama,
can't
go
put
ahead,
it
go
all
ahead.
on Tulane, okay? Because
Yeah,
if Army would have beat Notre Dame,
yeah,
this game tonight would still matter. It would still
yeah,
matter.
yeah, yeah. That too. Yeah, that too.
Hmm.
But Alabama, Miami. Don't think coach y'all sitting at 11 and 12, y'all lean.
Exactly, exactly. We're gonna get into that real soon. Now, here's the first question. Here is the first. 225 said, "What you thought about Terry flipping to Texas?" Oh yeah, let me address that. Let me address that first, okay? Let me address that. Let me address that here real quickly. Um, I'm going to say this, okay? First of all, congratulations to the University of Texas for landing the number one recruiting class. They landed a big fish out of Manchester, Georgia today. Justice Terry, one of the top D linemen in the nation coming out of high school. It came down between Auburn, Georgia, and Texas, and he chose Texas today. So Texas officially has the number one recruiting class. I think this is the first time. You got to go all the way back to maybe back when Colt McCoy's class was the last time. Well, Colt McCoy and Jordan Shipley and all of them. That was the last time that Texas uh, finished its high in recruiting. I'm going to say this. You can, and we all know this is the new world of college football. You can buy all the talent, have all the oil money in the world, but it's still going to come down to development. Your staff is going to have to be able to develop these kids. It's not like the NFL where you can go out and buy free agents and get them to come to your team, and those guys are already developed. So you basically just giving them a uniform, giving them a uniform and and a contract, and they can fit blend right on in. They learn your plays, learn your system, and they blend right on in. It's different with college kids. College kids, you got to develop them. So and I say that to say this. Remember, Jimbo Fisher had the overall number one recruiting class back in 2022. Historic number one recruiting class. They didn't even get to Atlanta. They didn't even play for an SEC championship game. No SEC championship, no playoff appearance. Nothing to show for it. So um, it still comes down to the development of the talent. Salute to you, Lisa Sims. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I was
yeah,
speaking on. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. And you talked on the back end about this, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Auburn was in the mix for it. They can
Hmm.
have him. You know what I'm finna say. You already know where I'm finna go. You already
Hmm.
know they can have him.
Hmm.
I'm like this right here. I want a kid that gonna come there and want to play for the team, for the school, that
Hmm.
want to be developed, that want to turn and make some kind of history at a school.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? See, he don't want to work. If he came to Georgia, he came to Auburn, he would have to work, right?
Hmm.
That said, at Texas they don't work, but guess what? He don't want to work.
Well, don't want to compete. Don't want. I
Yeah,
think it's more about it. May be 25% competing. I think he was promised a starting position, and the other 75% had to do with money.
yeah, yeah. That's what I meant when I said work.
Hmm.
That's what when I said work. That's what I
Hmm.
meant. Compete.
Hmm.
If you compete, if I compete against you, we both gonna get better.
Hmm.
And regardless who starts.
Hmm.
Look, you start. Hey, I come in back up. Guess what? We're gonna celebrate each other.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to compete, and when you promise a kid a starting position, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Salute to you, you knew. Okay, she still trying. I think she's setting up her 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 headphones and everything. But yeah, and this is where coaches have to be careful at in the NIL era. Can you hear me? Did
I
you?
can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah, I
all
can
right.
hear you.
This is what coaches have to really be careful with in the NIL era. You you want to be careful with these 5 stars. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these 5 stars can turn into prima donnas, especially if you're putting a lot of money and you're putting a lot of money in their pocket. You want to get kids, ain't nothing wrong with loving money. We all love money. Who don't love money? Okay. But you want the kid to come to school and get developed. You want them to come to school and learn something. You don't want them to come there, and they're only choosing your school or choosing you for money. You don't want that because it's not going to come to a good end because they're going to get there, they're going to get the money, and they're going to feel like they're above authority. It's going to be hard to develop that kid because you've already put them up on a pedestal.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you got they come into school, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what they learning in the classroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the parents sitting back looking at you crazy. Why my child ain't doing good in college? Well, he's playing football, making all this money. But then you got some of the parents don't really don't care as long as he bringing in that money.
Mm-hmm.
So not only is on the school and the coaches to develop their player, I want to put something on the parent too.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's 50-50 in both. See, if that's your son, if I had and I had a son and he did what he did, you know what I'll tell him? Hey, yeah, it ain't all about the money. You better get the education while it's free, and yeah, you learn something,
Mm-hmm.
develop yourself, become a man.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, you can't blame me. Blame yourself. Guess what? Where you want to go? I'm not making the choice for you.
Mm-hmm.
You grown man now. You got to make your own choices.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Salute to you, you knew.
Hello, hello. How's everybody doing in the chat? Hello, Armondo. Hello, D Truth Sniper. How's it going? Hey, hello, 225, Lisa, Go Dog. Hello, how you doing? Y'all have I hope you guys are having a great day today. All right, so and for those that are going to be coming later, thank you for coming through as well. What changes would you make to the
Hey,
current
you know.
college football? Yes, yes.
D True.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. She
I,
spoke.
I,
She spoke to you when she first
I,
came
I,
in.
I just can't. I just couldn't hear her.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so what changes would you make to the current college football playoff system, Armando?
Okay.
Uh can you hear D True? Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but I can't hear her. But I'm watching
You
the
didn't hear
question.
her just read out the question?
Oh, I already knew what the question was before she
No,
came up.
I'm saying, did you hear her read the question?
No, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay. All right. It said, what changes would you make to the current college football playoff system? Okay, I'll let you go ahead and take that question first, D True.
First, what change I would make? Forget who the teams played, right? Forget what conference they in. If your number one standard is the win loss record, let it be the win loss record. No matter who the doggone team is. Stop doing favoritism. Stop being putting this school in this and put this school in there because of the team name, because of what they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So what if a team gets in there, they got a 9-1 record, and win a conference championship, but this team got 3 losses. Who got the better record at the end of the day?
Mm,
Put that team in there, because we don't see some team that in the BCS area, in the playoff area, that were from a Power Five school, Power Four school, get blowed out in the playoff.
mm,
So what's the difference you're going to make to put a group of 4 team in there that got a better record than one of the Power Four schools? What's the difference going to make? That Power Four school might get blown out. That if you go by your standard, number one reason is cause of record, your year record. No matter regardless who the team play. If you go by record, guess what? Some of these 2 loss and 3 loss team wouldn't even be in the playoff. They actually win by records.
mm.
That's telling right there. So that's my take on it. If you're not going to go by that, throw the records out the window. Bottom line.
Um. Okay. I'm gonna put up the rankings. Okay. I'm gonna put up the rankings. Now, what I would do, hold up, let me take this banner down here. Take this banner down. All right. Now this is what I would do if I'm the committee. Okay, so this is championship week. Okay. First of all, I think it's unfair for, you got certain teams that are on the bubble and a lot of the at-large teams that are not playing this week. They can sit at home with their feet kicked up while other teams have to participate in a conference championship game. Some of these conference championship games are meaningless. Um, what I would do on championship week is I would take the 14th, the 14th, the 13th, the 14th ranked team, the 13th ranked team, the 12th ranked team, and the 11th ranked team. I would have all 4 of them to play a wild card. It would be 2 games. So it would be Bama versus South Carolina, Bama versus South Carolina, and Miami versus Ole Miss. Okay, the 3 seed and the 4 seed, that the teams that have locked down the 3 and the 4 seed, they would not get a bye. They would not get a bye. They would host the winner of these wild card games. So in order to pull this off, you would have to have a 14-team playoff. And you know, that would work. But championship week, if you're going to have conference championship games, I would also that same week have wild card. Have the wild card playoff play-in games. That's what I would do.
Yeah. And for as I'm looking at it right now, right,
Mm-hmm.
you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 teams that got 2 or less losses, right?
Mm-hmm.
hmm That's 12 teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And got other teams with 3 losses.
Mm-hmm.
But we know Arizona State and Iowa State gonna play each other. So you still basically still got 12 teams right there.
Mm-hmm.
You see where I'm going with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you put the ones that got no loss, 1 loss, 2 loss in the playoff? Instead of trying to squeeze another 3 teams, a team in there with 3 losses in there.
Well, the thing is, those number one, it ain't many teams with 1 loss. What teams do you see with 1 loss? That's past that's past 14. Because most of the teams that are ranked below 14, 15, they have 2 and 3 losses. The only team that has one loss that you're referring to is Army, and that's about to change after tonight. But you also got to take into now. I'm not disagreeing with strength of record. Strength of record and strength of schedule should matter. Okay, because it's unfair to have a team, what Liberty, let's just say what Liberty has been doing for the last 2 years, going undefeated through uh whatever conference that is, Mid America Conference or whatever, going undefeated through that conference, playing low budget talent, going undefeated, and then getting a New Year's Six bowl game. That wasn't fair. I never agreed with that. These now what I will say is this would solve the problem right here. Have a wild card play-in game, and that way no one is left out. No one is left out. Let them earn their way in. Let them earn their way in. Bama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Miami. The debate is between those four teams. Clemson, their only pathway would be to win and beat SMU. Now, if SMU wins, if Clemson wins, then all of that bubble stuff for this year would be done because SMU would get in. The committee has SMU ranked number 8. There is no reason why they should drop SMU. No reason why they should drop SMU behind Bama. Now, they had a valid reason to do what they did with Miami. You understand what I'm saying, D Troop and Sniper? They had a valid reason. But there is nothing, no reason that they could come up with if Clemson beats SMU. And if it's a close game, a good game, let's just say if it's a game like what Georgia and Georgia Tech played last Friday, there is no justification for this committee dropping SMU all the way out past behind Bama. No
Wait,
way.
wait. Let me ask you a question though,
Mm-hmm.
real quick. And this is a question that I think that a lot of people ask. Alabama lost to two non-ranked teams. Two non-ranked teams.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they only won 3 ranked games.
Mm-hmm.
The Oklahoma the Oklahoma game, that should matter. That they should first of all, you lost to Vanderbilt, who is still is not ranked. Or they are ranked, but they're in the lower 20s. And then you lost to Oklahoma, who got their first SEC game at that particular point. Why is Alabama so in? So they got to put Alabama into this mix when they have 3 losses to begin with. They lost to a ranked team and 2 unranked teams over Miami that lost 2 ranked games.
Salute to you, Dub. Salute to you, Common Sense TV. Uh, the teams that Miami lost to, neither one of them were ranked. They're
Neither one.
ranked now, but at the time that they played Syracuse, Syracuse was not ranked.
Vanderbilt was not ranked when they beat Alabama.
No, Vanderbilt wasn't ranked when they beat Bama. Oklahoma wasn't either. But
And
here's
that's
the
I think
problem.
that's the worst loss. Would you agree that's the worst loss um, out of the college football
This
this
season,
year?
no, it is not. Northern Illinois going into South Bend beating Notre Dame is the by far the worst loss.
What was the score of that
Go.
game?
It was a 3-point loss or something like that. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, what makes that loss worse, is
Mm-hmm.
Northern Illinois is they're a they're a P5 school. Okay, they're a P5 school. Oklahoma is a Power 4 school. Oklahoma is a SEC school. All right. Now, you can go on the road in the SEC and get beaten on any given Saturday. You know, that can happen. That can happen. That happened to Bama when Bama was dominating and winning national championships. What they went on the road, played Ole Miss, got upset. Went on the road, played South Carolina, got upset. It happened to them a couple of times.
But it still's not making sense to me, bro. Like, first of all, Vandy was not again. Like I'm just comparing the two teams' losses,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Vandy was not ranked.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, Vandy was supposed to be. It was predicted to be the lower tier of the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Came out real good. So Vandy's loss is like Miami's loss to Indiana, not Indiana. Uh, their first loss.
Hmm. What are you talking about?
Uh, Miami's first loss
Miami's first loss is to Georgia Tech.
to Georgia Tech,
Uh-huh. On the
right?
road.
On the road.
Mm-hmm.
But Alabama lost at home.
Alabama did not lose at home.
Oh no, they left because they haven't beat any team in Tennessee. That's that's my bad.
Yeah,
Uh,
Alabama. Let me give you all three Bama losses, man. In Knoxville to Tennessee, in Nashville to Vandy, and in Norman to Oklahoma. They did not lose it. They did not lose at home. This is the problem that Miami has, and I understand what you're saying. Bama has the worst loss. They have the worst loss. So it's three categories. All right. One check mark goes to Miami. Because Alabama has a worse loss than Miami. Okay. But when it comes down to those other boxes, Bama checks those other two boxes: strength of schedule and signature wins. Miami does not have a signature win. Miami's only signature win is Louisville. Bama's signature, okay, so Bama's Miami's signature win is Louisville. Bama's signature win is Georgia. Louisville, Georgia.
okay.
Okay?
I get that Alabama.
That's what I'm saying.
No. We agreed on that earlier. I give that to Bama.
Yeah.
Let me get in here right quick. But
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you talking about. I understand what Sniper talking about. But at the same time, their number priority was what they first thing they said. Win loss record, right? Then the strict the schedule. How how you gonna try to slide a 3 loss team in there? No matter what their strict schedule is.
It's
You see what I'm saying?
it's it's
No matter
it's
it don't
it's
matter what the strict schedule is.
it's
You try to
it's strength
they
of
try to slide them in.
it's
They
strength.
try to slide them in.
Okay, hold on. Strength of schedule, win loss record. Okay, so strength of record, strength of schedule. All right, and signature wins. They also look at that, and they also look at your performance when they start. Because remember, they started back in November. They started doing their rankings back in November. It ain't like they've been ranking since August or September, like the AP and the college. The coaches poll. The committee just started doing their rankings in November. And what happened to Miami in November? They took a down spiral. They started playing bad in November, man. When you lose 2 out of your last 3, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. And they were favored by double digits in both games. Now, yeah, 225 girl, I agree with you. It's a little brand bias in there. It is a little brand bias in there. But
Hey,
it,
look.
when you have a weak schedule like Miami has, and it's similar to our schedule last year, Sniper. Remember, we had a schedule just like that. All right. The difference between us and Miami, when you have a schedule like that, you cannot lose more than one game. You gotta either go undefeated or you gotta go 11-1. It's 12-0 or 11-1. You cannot go 10-2 with a weak ass schedule like that. No Clemson, no SMU, no Notre Dame. That was a cakewalk ass schedule, bro. There is no reason, That's why, man, I agree with you when you kept saying Miami going undefeated. I looked at their schedule, I like, hell yeah, they're going undefeated. There's no reason why they shouldn't go undefeated. They don't see Clemson, SMU, Notre Dame. You know what? As a matter of fact, they didn't even play Pitt. They didn't play Pitt. They didn't even see Pitt. Salute
But
you, P-Bone. Dubs.
hey, yeah, I'm gonna say this right here.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the last part of of a team season, you'll start doing the rankings till about the last part of the season. They don't look at the first part of the season, and that's what I think they're doing. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at the team what they did the last part of the season instead of the first part of the season, instead of looking at the whole season. You see what I'm saying?
Well, let
Which
me and you look at their
which is
first. Go ahead. Go ahead.
which is unfair to some teams because we know the SEC got some tough schedule in their own conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you got some conference like let's say the Big 12 or the ACC got some weak teams in their conference.
Mm-hmm.
That you can't compare them. You can't compare SEC to the other conference. You feel what I'm saying? Because other conference might be weaker than the SEC, and you penalize them for the weak conference they have. Hey, that kind of telling.
Well, like I said, brother, when you have a easy schedule like that, you got to handle your business like Boise State and like SMU did. Okay, their schedules were sort of weak also, but they handled their business. Same thing with Indiana. They had a weak ass schedule, bro. When you draw a weak schedule like that, you got to win the games that you're supposed to win. You can't lose to teams that you're not supposed to lose to and expect that committee to just hand you a playoff spot.
Oh, you're right. And you know what? I ain't saying just called Alabama is they got it at number 11. Even if they had Ole Miss at number 11, I'd be saying the same thing, and you know it. Because I think a three-loss team that they on the 11 or 12 spot, you on the bubble anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta have a whole lot of things go right. See, Bama and Miami got to have SMU beat Clemson
Well,
to stay in there.
Miami don't have a chance in hell of getting in because remember what I explained to you earlier.
Yeah. I would stay there. Arizona State.
That knocks Miami out. The Big 12
Yeah.
champion knocks Miami out. Remember, um, these are the rules. Anybody, any team that's outside of the 11, any team that's outside of that top 11, if they are playing for a conference and they get in, 11 through 12 is out.
Hmm.
11 and 12 is out. So the winner of the Big 12 knocks Miami out. That eliminates
Hmm.
Miami officially. Okay. But if Clemson beats SMU and it is a competitive close game, that eliminates Bama. They're done.
Yeah. Yeah. And to say that is, and what happens if UNLV beat Boise State? Hmm.
Well,
That's another question.
okay, I can answer that question. Boise State is going to come off of that fourth seed. They're going to come off of that fourth seed, and They'll probably go to 12. I'm sorry, not Boise State, but UNLV. They'll go to 12, and Arizona State will go to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's something that a lot of people don't understand. Salute to you, misunderstood. Here's what a lot of people don't understand. Um, if Arizona State wins and Clemson wins and UNLV wins tonight, Arizona State is going to be the number 3 seed. Clemson is going to be the number 4 seed. And UNLV will be the 12th seed.
And that kicks Alabama and Miami out.
Yeah, because where Bama is now, slated at 11, that's where SMU will go.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, Notre Dame knows one or two things. They're either going to face Bama in the first round, they're going to be hosting Bama in South Bend, or they're going to be hosting SMU. Either way, they're in a good spot because both of them teams are from the South. Most of the players have never been experiencing that kind of weather. And if anybody know anything about South Bend, Indiana, it's right next door to Chicago. We're talking about in late December, we're talking about it getting down into the single digits.
All right.
So it's gonna be one of those. And I think, like I said, UNLV Boise State plays tonight.
Mhm.
So Alabama will root for root for Boise State to win that game.
Mhm.
We know that.
Mhm.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking SMU and Clemson plays that night or that afternoon. I'm not sure. But you know they're gonna be watching.
SMU and Clemson play tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. They play tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Okay, you knew.
All right. Hey, misunderstood. How you doing? Common Sense, Dubs, and everybody else that's been coming through here. Did the CFP committee get it right on their latest rankings Tuesday night? Yes or no? D-Truth.
Salute King Info 850.
I'm gonna say
Okay,
I heard.
okay.
I'm paying attention on YouTube too, so I got it on the TV, so I get to pay attention. But I'm gonna say yes and no. I'm gonna say yes and no. The reason I say yes, they got the two teams that shouldn't be in that at 11 and 12 sweating it out, right? And no, because there's got a team that got 3 losses sitting up in their poll. So yes and no.
Well, you might well get used to this, bro, because it's going to be plenty years where you're going to have a 3-loss team in there. And I remember Paul Feinbaum making that prediction that don't be surprised that you may have a couple of 3-loss teams in there. It's been a weird year, and we've had a lot of chaos, and there's going to be some years and there's going to be some times when we have a lot of chaos. I think the committee got it 95%, 98% right, because if you do the tail of the tape, and we're looking at Bama, Miami, South Carolina, Ole Miss. You had no choice but to give the nod to Bama, because Bama had a better win. And when you put Bama up against Ole Miss had the worst loss. They lost to a Kentucky team, a 4-win Kentucky team that was 1-7 in the SEC. 1-7. Their only win was when they went in the Grove and beat Ole Miss at home. That's a bad loss. Worse than what happened to Bama in Oklahoma. And yeah, both of them beat Georgia, and Ole Miss beat them decisively. All right. Bama, yeah, Bama had to get lucky against South Carolina, and Ole Miss beat South Carolina decisively. But, bro, Ole Miss got 2 bad losses. They got, I'm sorry, 3 bad losses. And here's another thing, too, common opponent. Okay, so we going off a common opponent. South Carolina and Georgia, both of them check that box, D-Truth. Both of them check that box. So you go to the third common opponent, LSU. South Carolina blew a lead, a halftime lead to South Carolina. To LSU, and they lost that game. Salute to you, King on 29. They lost that game where Bama went down to Death Valley at night in Baton Rouge and blew them out of that stadium. Blew them out of their own stadium. So the tail of the tape between Bama, Ole Miss, advantage Bama. So let's go to South Carolina. Head to head. These games matter. You can't. What kind of message are you gonna send to everyone and you say, okay, the games don't matter? Games matter. And then you also got, so if you want, so let's just say hindsight, you say, well, South Carolina, it was a couple of points. They lost only by a couple of points to Bama. Let's do common opponent. Bama blew LSU out in Baton Rouge. South Carolina lost to LSU and William Bryce in Columbia. Advantage Bama. Okay, let's go to Miami. I've already explained it. Both of them got bad losses. Don't get me wrong. Look, Miami's strength of schedule is terrible. Bama's strength of schedule is in the top 15. They're ranked number 11 in strength of schedule.
But we got to look at it this way too. The ACC ain't just as strong as the SEC either. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. People will compare the strength of schedule of the SEC and the ACC. There ain't no comparison. There ain't no comparison in the strength of schedule, especially in the conferences. What is the stronger conference right now with teams?
The SEC.
Okay, then. So, other words, you can compare the strength of schedule with the other conference. It ain't no comparison. But I'm not saying Bama don't deserve to be in there. But I'm saying 3 losses. I'm looking at 3 losses like, wait a minute, hold up. If your first criteria is win-loss record, then your second criteria is strength of schedule. So you just bypass the first. Okay, you got 3 losses, 4 losses, 2 losses, whatever. You bypass the first criteria of the kind of football playoff that the committee had made. What that says about the committee win-loss record, it's all about, okay, you just skip that. Okay, they got 3 losses. Okay, who did they lose to? Who did they beat? Who did they cover an opponent? See what I'm saying?
And I think
you throw that out the window.
And here's something else the committee is also looking at. All right, and I've heard them mention this several times since Tuesday night. The Virginia Tech game. We all know that's supposed to have been an L. We all know the refs stole one from Virginia Tech. We all know this. Because you do not overturn what was called on the field without definitive evidence. There was nothing conclusive. There was nothing. They did it from several different angles, nothing conclusive showing that kid dropped the ball in their end zone. Nothing. They did several different angles, but the people in the booth in the ACC, they overturned the decision and gave the game to Miami.
But
They
I look
take
like
a
this
lot
right
of
here.
things like that into consideration, man.
but it's like this right here. That been good. That was going on the whole season. You noticed that, huh? Some
Yeah,
calls that been going on. So they can't take that into
yeah,
consideration.
but
There's been a whole lot of teams that.
but that took a game away from Virginia Tech. Now I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Texas Georgia game. That right there didn't wasn't really even in that call was overturned in Texas' favor, but Texas still lost. It didn't impact the game. That call in that Miami Virginia Tech game, it decided the game. It impacted the game. The game was taken away from Virginia Tech, where Virginia Tech rightfully won it on the field.
Hmm. But I look like this right here. The bottom line is, if I think next year that should be the number one thing the committee should look at is don't say win loss record is the number one thing you look at. Go ahead and say the strength of schedule gonna be the number one thing y'all look at. Then the win loss record. Switch them two around. You feel what I'm saying?
What
So that's all I'm saying.
where you can't have
And don't go ahead, go ahead.
you can't have one without the other. You got to have them. You got to have a like at least several different criterias. Now, here's where they got wrong. Okay, here's what they got wrong. Ohio, yes, Tennessee had a bad loss. Ohio State had a bad loss. But Tennessee's bad loss was on the road in Little Rock at night. Ohio State's bad loss was at home in the Horseshoe to a hated rival, Michigan. And they got outplayed,
Who has they
huh?
who got they who don't have their number for the last 5 years?
Exactly. Exactly. But this Michigan team, they should have beat this Michigan team. And here's the kicker right here. This is why so many Ohio State fans are pissed. Will Johnson wasn't on the field. Will Johnson didn't even play, he didn't even dress out. A couple of key Michigan players on defense did not play. They were playing against backups in that game. They were playing against backups. And the quarterbacks, I mean, come on, man. This dude barely can throw the ball 20 yards all season. Well, Arkansas is they're a little bit more, Michigan got a better record. But if you put Arkansas on the field with Michigan, Arkansas will win that game. Arkansas is way more talented than that Michigan team. That Michigan team has so many flaws. Ohio State had no business losing to them. So I don't understand why they have Ohio State in front of Tennessee. That I don't understand. And Tennessee has a win over Bama. They have a win over Bama. Ohio State
Oh,
has a win over Penn State, but Penn State don't have a signature win.
yeah, I'm tell you why. I'm tell you why. I keep going right back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State is a bigger name than Tennessee.
Well, they're both pretty big now. Neyland
Yeah,
Stadium,
but
General Neyland. I mean, Tennessee has history. They won the
yeah,
national titles back in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s.
but I'm looking at the way Ohio State been playing lately the past years how Tennessee been playing.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm looking at, right? It's just
Mm-hmm.
like how Bama been playing.
Mm-hmm.
You think if Bama would been playing that way, they did have Nick Saban. They had been playing that way. They'd be stuck in that number 3 spot, that number 11 spot right now with 3 losses. Without that Alabama name, without the history of Alabama, you think they'd be stuck in that number 11
Well,
spot
well,
right
like
now?
well, like I said, bro. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's some brand. Did brand play a little part in it? Yes, but if you looking at the 4 bubble teams, now I can't stand Bama either. You know that. You know I'm one of the biggest Bama haters of them all. But I got to call it down the middle. If you're judging Bama and you're putting Bama up against the other 3 bubble teams, I would have done the same damn thing. that Water Manual done the other night. I would have done the same thing that committee did. I would have Bama at 11. And if SMU beats Clemson, yes, there will be a playoff team. There's nobody, there's no one, no other team under Bama that deserve to get in over them. Not one, I mean, find one. Find one. I put it back up to find one. I just
But
broke
that just
down
put
old South Carolina and Miami. I just made a case against them. So give me a case for Arizona State, Iowa State. One of them getting in. One of them
yeah,
getting in,
but
and one of them about to take their third L. So
yeah, but see, this is what I want to know right here. What if Ole Miss would have played Alabama and their third loss was to Alabama?
that's
Alabama's third loss was to Ole Miss, and Ole Miss got 3 losses. Alabama got 3 losses. Would they took that head-to-head competition and put Ole Miss there, or they would have put Alabama there?
well. The thing about it is, So that would made a difference because Bama has the advantage over Ole Miss because of common opponents. Ole Miss lost to LSU. They lost to LSU. Bama beat the brakes off of that same LSU team in Baton Rouge. They dropped like almost 50 points on LSU.
Demonstrated fair.
That was the
On that,
tiebreaker. That was the tiebreaker, bro.
all I had to say is, all I gotta say is, Alabama fan, y'all gonna be scoreboard watching tonight. Hoping Boise State beat UNLV.
Well, it don't make no difference.
Yeah,
That game don't
yeah,
have no bearing
but
on Bama's fate. It don't.
but but they still gonna be scoreboard watching tomorrow night.
Yeah, they're gonna scoreboard watch tomorrow. It's gonna come down to Miami is out. All you Miami
Hmm.
fans, it's over. South Carolina is over. That's why Sellers. Rumor has it Sellers entered the transfer portal earlier today. It's over. South Carolina, you have no chance. The committee has spoken. The man said nobody is moving. No team is moving. There will be no movement of any team that's not participating in these conference championship games. That means that Indiana is in. So this, I've been also hearing a couple of Miami podcasts saying, "Well, it's a chance they might move Indiana out and put Miami." No, 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 no. That ain't happening. Indiana is in, and what helped Indiana stay in? Let me explain this. They beat Michigan. Michigan beat
Beat Ohio State.
Ohio State. So that win against Michigan for Indiana looks a hell of a lot better today.
You right about that.
Yeah.
You right about that. And I can see they'll put Miami at 12. I can see they put Alabama at 13. I can see they put anybody else at putting anybody at 11 or 12. That below 11 and 12 set Arizona State, Iowa State, which eventually gonna get in anyway. When that game gonna get in anyway. So it gonna be you think this year chaos waiting next year.
Well, I think it'll be a little bit more organized next year. G Bama, I feel what you're saying, and I've heard a couple of Tide fans say this. Even man, they even got some ex-classmates that are Tide fans. They have said the same thing that G Bama said. That's how they feel. They said, "Not me. I don't think Bama should get in, but I appreciate the respect from the committee." There's no listen to me, G Bama. If SMU beat Clemson, you're going to the playoffs. There's no one else. There's no one else that will be worthy of going. They're not putting Ole Miss in there in front of you. They're not putting South Carolina in over you because you beat South Carolina. Ole Miss, the tiebreaker over them is common opponents. You beat the brakes off LSU. LSU beat Ole Miss. You beat South Carolina in the head-to-head. Miami has 0 ranked signature wins. Bama has 1, 2, 3. Georgia, South Carolina, Missouri. And oh, by the way, that Wisconsin win looks pretty good too, because Bama went into Wisconsin, dragged them for 60 minutes, blew them out in Madison, and Oregon went into Wisconsin a couple of weeks ago and barely got out of there with a win. So, I mean, look, SMU take care of Clemson, y'all in. Y'all in. It
But
ain't
you know what?
nothing. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this right here. I can't believe Bama fan actually saying that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's all of this is strange and it's new. It's
Mm-hmm.
strange and it's new. The thing is, the thing is, the thing is, man, we in a new world of college football.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the 14 playoff thing, that 14 format is gone. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you have 12 teams, I'm gonna make this prediction. Don't be surprised in the next 5 years you see a 4-loss team in there. Don't be
I told you
surprised,
that.
man. Don't be
Look here.
surprised.
Hey, like I said, you think this season was weird? Just wait.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm like this right here. Yeah, come since hey, you better say come on SMU. But we know Dembo.
Yeah, that's the only thing about it. When it come down to games like that, bro. I hard way, bro. Don't bet against Dabo. I lost money. 2016 playoff game, Ohio State Clemson. I had $100 on Ohio State, and Clemson went down there to Arizona and blew their butt out. Blew them out of Scottsdale, Arizona, bro. Beat them by what?
Doug, I forgot how much we buy. I'm left that Doug statement. Come here.
Hey man, I learned the hard way. Hey, I learned the hard way. When it come down to games like this, you gotta remember, yeah, Dabo, he goofy. He hard-headed, bullheaded, goofy, and run off at the mouth. But you gotta remember, that's still Dabo. That's still the same man that beat the GOAT not once, but twice in a national championship game. That's still Dabo Swinney, 2-time national championship winning head coach. So he got Rhett Lashley don't have no experience at the head coaching level. Now, I'm not talking about as no assistant on no staff or nothing like that. I'm talking about as a head coach, where you are the man calling the shots. It's a big difference when you are steering the ship, when you controlling the wheel on the yacht. You know what I'm saying? Because see, Ryan Day was a hell of an offensive coordinator. But now that he's controlling the yacht, he having issues when it comes to them big games. I'm just saying. And speaking of
Next
Ryan Day,
question.
let's get it, you knew. Let's get it, you knew.
All right. Will Ohio State ever win the Nationals title with Ryan Day as head coach? Yes or no, Armando?
If I'm gonna answer it like this, D Truth. If he don't win it this year, he never will. They have a $40 million invested in this roster. And I said this back in August on week 1 when we did our first live for the season. I said this when we put our brackets up. I said if Ryan Day don't win a national title with this Ohio State team, he'll never get one. He'll never get one.
Mm, mm.
because he'll never
I'm gonna
have
say
another team this loaded because of the NIL, the transfer portal, and because of Texas. And here comes SMU, that oil money. Uh, he'll never have a squad like this again. Mm-mm.
I'm saying like this right here. He is not gonna win if he win the last few years and five five straight losses to Michigan. And when he don't had the better team, and like last year when Michigan beat him with interim head coach, and he ain't won it yet.
Mm-mm.
He ain't gonna never win one. Hey, y'all gonna have Ohio State gonna have to change up something up there. And you know what I mean when they said they gotta change up something. They got to change the coach because it seems like he cannot win the big one. He can't get over that hump. Look how many teams. When the last time Ohio State won a national championship?
10 years ago.
About 20,
10 years
10
ago.
years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the head coach?
Urban Meyer.
My point exactly. My
And,
point exactly.
and here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, Here's the problem. Oregon, I think Oregon finished like 4 in recruiting this
Mm-hmm.
year. Dan Lennon, and I told everybody, I told all them Big Ten fans, Dan Lennon is a hell of a recruiter. I remember what he did for us. All of those guys, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Keely Ringo, he brought those players to us.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Recruited them guys.
is Ohio State in the top 6?
I don't know. I have to check it. All I know, Oregon is in front of them, and Michigan is building with through that transfer portal, and they're picking off. They're picking off players from other schools. They got that Overton guy, that Overton kid from LSU, and they get looking at
Yeah.
a couple of other players. They took some players from USC last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I look like this here. Ryan Day, his recruiting is. Let me say this right here.
He's a hell of a
If Ohio
recruiter.
State, he's a hell of a recruiter, but if he ain't in the top 6 with a winning record and way they're playing this year, and the last few years that he been head coach, and Hugh Freeze, you know how to get this. And Hugh Freeze come in his second year with with 11-12 record, 11-12 record, 2 years, and get a almost a top 5 recruiting class for this year, 2025-2026 season. It's something wrong. It's something wrong with Ryan Day.
Well, G Bama boy just verified they're number 5 in recruiting, so they're behind Oregon. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say this: this squad is better than that 2019 squad, and that 2019 squad was loaded. But this squad he has this year is loaded. Now, I know they got a tough ass road. they got a tough, and I do mean a tough road ahead of them. But they got to figure it out because he'll never ever have this much talent at one time again. If he don't win it this year, he won't. And this is the gauntlet that he's going to have to go through. He's going to have to see Tennessee in the first round and then see Oregon in the second round. And then when he come
That
out there in the semifinals, he probably going to have to see Penn State in a rematch if they get past Oregon, which I highly doubt.
Yeah, and that if That's a big if. That if SMU beat Clemson. So we'll know.
What do you mean if
We'll know.
SMU beat Clemson? That ain't got they in regardless, man.
That
They
Clemson beat SMU. If Clemson beat SMU, we'll know who's going to be the 11 or 12 team between in there. See what I'm saying? So
no, but that ain't
we
got
know who's
nothing.
going to be.
That ain't got nothing to do with Ohio. Ohio State. Remember I said Ohio State and Tennessee ain't moving. They ain't moving. They might as well go ahead and start watching film on each other because that's who they're Tennessee, Ohio State. Start watching film on each other because you already know who your opponent is for the 21st, which that will be prime time. That might be the last game of the day. That's going to be a prime time game there. Mm-hmm. But like I
So
said,
Randy,
uh,
Randy might be Randy. This might be his last 2 years at Ohio State.
yeah. All right. So we go ahead. We got two to pick tonight. We got the All American Conference first. The All American Conference Championship game first. Army is the host team, and they will be playing Tulane. They'll be hosting Tulane, the Tulane Green Wave. UKnew this is your hometown team from the state of Louisiana. The Tulane Green Wave against the Army. Well, what's their nickname? The Army Knights. What's their nickname?
I think it is tonight,
Yeah,
but you,
The Army Knights. So I'll go first. I'll go first. I think Tulane is just too strong. I think Tulane is a stronger team. My heart says Army, but my brain saying Tulane. So I gotta go with my brain, Tulane. I gotta make up for lost times because I didn't have a good week last week.
yes, 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 yes. In my damn Brian voice, but I'm gonna go Army. I'm gonna go Army. I think this is their first year in the American Athletic Conference, and Tulane been there how long? Been there a while. I think
Mhm.
Army take the championship right here, and then goes on next week to beat Navy. You knew?
I'm not here.
Detroit,
Sniper.
Picking upset. Detroit picking upset.
Who is it for Sniper? Who is it? It's up. All right. Next. Shoot. Upset or Tulane? Okay. I mean Army or Tulane. Hmm. How many losses does Tulane have?
Mm, hold on, let me pull up ESPN.com. Uh,
I think Tulane got two losses.
Okay. Hmm.
May have three.
Army only has one loss.
I'll just go with Army. I'm gonna go with Army. I'm not going with Tulane. Mm-mm.
All right.
Ding dong.
We might have to call Sniper for his. Somebody need to hit Sniper and see who he picked in this game.
Hold on. Hold on. What he got going on right now. I don't want to really
Yeah.
don't want to bother him because it sounds like
He
you know
gonna
what I'm
pick
saying.
Army. You know he gonna
Yeah,
pick
Hmm.
Army.
he would pick Army if he was up here.
Military.
Yeah. All right. The main event. The main event of the night. And this one, the first one was in Vegas. The rematch is gonna be in Boise, Idaho. Um, this team is on a mission. They've been on a mission all season. Um, hey, they're this close to making the playoffs. I don't see Boise State screwing this up. I'm going with Boise State in this one.
Richard?
I'm going to say this right here, with with it remind me, yo, that Statue of Liberty play they ran against against that uh, that bowl game. Was it Oklahoma? And I'm going Boise State in this one. I cannot see UNLV beating Boise State. I might be wrong,
Boise.
but will State happen? I'm going Boise State.
I'm going with Boise.
All right. We all in agreement. We are all in agreement. We are all in agreement. Okay. So
What do you think Sniper would choose? Boise? I think so. He would. I think he would too.
yeah, I think he would choose Boise because he's been picking Boise. He been picking Boise all week.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
what is our
and I got
score?
our record right now. I got a record right
I
now.
was just getting ready to ask.
For
Go
right
ahead.
now, I'm the lead dog.
Okay.
For right now, this regular season, since this championship week, I'm the league dog right now. Armondo second. You knew you are third,
Mm,
and Sniper breaking up the rear in fourth.
Jesus. Hmm. Okay.
All right. Well, we can have one for the playoffs, and it'll start tonight. We'll include championship weekend with the playoffs. We'll continue on through to January the 20th.
Okay.
All right. All right. We're gonna go into our final thoughts. D Truth. We'll start with you first, bro.
I'm gonna say shout out to the men and women basketball team. They had a good showing, although the men lost to Duke other night. But guess what? They still got only got one loss to the whole season. Congratulations to the women for beating. I forgot who the hell they played the other night. Virginia. They played Virginia Cavaliers. Congratulations on that win. Keep doing your thing, and congratulations to Hugh Freeze for having the number six recruiting class so far. So the recruiter is not. Some people still ain't signed yet. Congratulations, and hey, I'm looking forward to next year. War Eagle.
Well, thank you all for coming out and joining us on this the second edition of the Road to Atlanta. This is championship week. Championship week. We're starting off our championship weekend with the Road to Atlanta tonight. Thank you all for coming out. We had a great discussion on three very important topics. Make sure you all hit that like button, share the video, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you can get notifications for all the content that we're putting out over here. Thank you all. Love you all. Peace and blessings. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Be safe out there. And like I always say, take care of yourselves and each other. And for my co host, D Truth, you knew I'm Armondo Black. Thank you all. And like I always say, no matter what, go dogs. Sick 'em. Woo, 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 woo. See you all tomorrow morning.
And everybody, thank you for coming through. Everybody in the chat, thank you for coming through. And everybody that's going to be coming later, thank you for coming through as well. Y'all have a great evening. Hey, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. See ya. Bye.